Welcome back. There is no question. Celebrating the holidays will be different this year. Maybe your Thanksgiving feast will be much smaller, or maybe you're eating outdoors.
Or maybe Friendsgiving is canceled this year as we all try to stay safe, socially distant, and yet celebrate the holiday in some way. And while adults try to make the best of it, it could be especially hard on children, trying to understand why they're not seeing grandma or can't play with their cousins this year.
And our next guest can help. We want to welcome parenting expert Dr. Debbie Gilboa, and we say thanks for being with us. And your first tip, Dr. G, is to not assume that children are upset by the changes, first and foremost.
So we do a lot when we're having a hard time of projecting onto our kids or imagining how we would feel in their shoes. But actually, we start better conversations just by asking. Chances are, unless your kids have been, I don't even know where for the last 8 months, they're not going to be surprised that Thanksgiving and the holiday season, whatever you celebrate, is going to look different than it has in other years. They just went through Halloween, after all. So one of the things that we can do is, instead of saying, look, and or approaching them the way we do when we're giving them bad news, is we say, so what are you picturing for Thanksgiving this year?
And then that way, you're just allowing them to say this rather than having an expectation.
So a couple of things might happen. One, it's totally possible that there are things that your child experiences at the holidays that they don't love, that there are things that they look forward to about it. Oh, this is my dog busting into our interview. There are things that they look forward to about it, and there are things that they don't look forward to about it, right? So there are probably going to be things that'll be disappointing, but there may also be things that they're like, oh, you mean we don't have to drive that long or be in that place where I have to dress nicely and behave really, really well for a long time, or answer the same question from 47 different family members?
So, Dr. G, if you are staying home, let me ask this about overcompensating. Well, we're going to stay home, and then trying to over-deliver on making it extra special at home. Or is that a good way to approach it? We're going to make this special by staying home.
So we can make it special by staying home. We can also, though, recognize that for a lot of people, this holiday season, I hope, is about staying home and much smaller gatherings because there's no other way to be safe. But it's also about some new financial realities for a lot of us. So trying to overcompensate by putting yourself into credit card debt with gifts to make up for perceived loss elsewhere, that's not a great lesson to teach our children. So I recommend asking your kids and yourself and your other adults in your family a different question, which is, okay, we know that there are certain things we want to do that we can't do. What do we want to feel this year? What are the feelings that we want to try and recreate? Because if you focus on the feelings, I love the feeling when we all sing carols together, or I love the feeling when we try a new food every year. Well, for example, my family this year, we're each staying in our own home, but we're going to potluck the food. We just have to get Tupperware and drop it off for everybody. So we're going to eat the same meal over Zoom at different tables, and we're going to try a new food that one person is in charge of getting and then separating for everybody to have a little bit. So some traditions can persist. So find out what are the feelings and the feelings that are most holiday-like to your family, and then see if you can creatively find a new way, or a this year way, a 2020 way to have those experiences. And when you ask your kids, what are you picturing? You may find that they have some creative ideas.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're following the restrictions, and maybe you're following them more strictly than the people you're supposed to be spending the holidays with? I mean, what do you say to make them understand?
There's a few things that you can do. One is just know for yourself, you didn't make these decisions lightly. You don't have these boundaries and restrictions because they're fun. You have them because of science. You have them because of illness. You have them because it's the right thing for you and your children. So stay calm and solid in that knowledge. The second thing is, remember that when you hold on to your boundaries in front of your children, when they hear you talking to your sister-in-law, your cousin, or your friend who's trying to push you to do something different, well, you're teaching them how to stand up to peer pressure. They are listening, and if you cave, they will cave. So this is the time to stay firm in your truth, and then use I statements. This isn't about that ridiculous, scary, dangerous thing that your friend is doing or your family member is doing. This is about what you need to do to be able to relax, to be able to feel safe, to be able to sleep at night and not be worried. So I need this. I'm sorry this is disappointing to you. I'm also really missing you and really feeling the loss. thank you for understanding that these are my boundaries.
Oh,
All right.
life lessons and good advice.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Gilboa.
Thanks, you guys. And I hope, however you celebrate, that it is safe and warm.
Happy
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving.
You too.